Hello everyone, today I've had a request to hack Ogre Battle 64. I've made a video before on this, and I guess it was just a request to really explain in further detail how to character clone. It's not a big issue, I'll try my best. It's actually quite simple. Important things to know when doing it. I like to keep my name as Magnus. It doesn't matter. Just remember you're going to have to use the first 3 characters of your name backwards. And because Magnus had a capital M in his name, I'm going to have to type in Gam with a capital M at the end of that. And I'll have to do a string search like that to find all the information I need. It doesn't matter at this point. These questions, if you're not a fan of this game or haven't played it before, those questions determine, what kind of starting gear you get and what kind of characters you get, but it doesn't really matter when you can just, clone a character and then change it to whatever the hell you want. One thing I did not care much for this game was how long it took you to beat. It wasn't because it was a long game, it was because it had an incredible amount of dialogue in it, and it also, the gameplay itself was unnecessarily slow. They could have sped it up a little bit, but other than that, the game is actually quite awesome for its time. Definitely worth the $60 I paid at the time to get it. And a game that was $60 back then, yeah, that's insane to pay that kind of money for a game like that. I think my sound just cut out in this crappy emulator. Alright, so with anything, you want to save state it. There we go, it fixed it. Alright, so with anything, like I was saying before, you want to save state it. That way you don't corrupt your game. So, step 1, you always want to take a look at which one's character 11, and that'll be Mary for this example. So let's go ahead and do a string scan for Gam, like I said earlier. And yes, you have to have that as a capital M. If you got capital letters in whatever your name you chose or lowercase, it is case sensitive. So usually you'll get about 5 results back. Sometimes it's this bottom one. The other time it's the one from the bottom, one more above right here. But it looks like it's the bottom one for this example. And the way I know that is I can see some of the names all jumbled up on the side here, and as soon as I opened that up, I saw this 5151. That's both the class and portrait for Magnus. So if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll start noticing Mary's name is down here, but it's all jumbled looking. But you'll also notice everything's a bunch of zeros down here. This is all for our battalion, all the spaces we can have on it. So the way I figured out when does a character start, when does a character end, each character in the game is represented by a number. So in Mary's case, she's number 11. So there's a character that's number 10 that comes before her. And in hexadecimal, 10 is represented as OA. So I see that right here. If I grab this and I go all the way down through all this and I find a 0B, which that's it right there. This is one character. This one red chunk of numbers and letters. That's one character itself. So what I will do with this is I will copy it, paste it right after that, and when I leave, and come back into this screen, I should have another Mary. So, it looks like I do. But let's not just stop there. Let's go as far to create an army, but let's say you're not satisfied with Mary being an Amazon, or you're not even satisfied with her name. You can actually change her name through the memory viewer and cheat engine if you want, but I'd just rather do it through the game. It's probably a lot faster and much easier. We'll call her something like Clone. Not very creative, I know, but as you see on the left-hand side, after I did that, some of this stuff turned red. Obviously, her name changed, so some of these values in here changed. So, like I said, we want to change what the clone is. We don't want it to be an Amazon, unless that's your thing, but it can't be a leader character because it's one of the weakest characters in the game, in my opinion. And it's incapable of leading any kind of party unit. So the way we do that is, as I said before with Magnus, you noticed he had 51-51. They all all the character chunks will share some similar patterns to them. Like, for example, this 0404, if you go on the game FAQs website, it'll have a class hacking guide for this, and you can look right here is the value for the Amazon. It's 04. So I don't want it to be an Amazon. What I want to do is first I want to make my character level 99, and let's go back to our little guide here and look and see if we can find a decent character that can lead a party. You don't necessarily have to have it as a character that can lead a party. You can choose anything you'd like. But for this example, I'll be going with, I guess the Lich will work for me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll choose the Lich. We'll go back into our memory viewer, and I'll type in, what would that say it was again? 26? Yep. Okay. 26. Now, as you can see, we've got a Lich now. If you don't like the portrait, you can change it to something else. I don't know what I just changed, but that was an accident. So, see, you can have different portraits as well. 26. I know I changed something there, but I don't know what I did. Oh well, not important. It didn't crash the game, which is great. So, we've got our Lich. We've got the portrait for him. We've got his level. Let's work on getting the stats and all that stuff as well. So, in order to do that, the way I've figured this out is every character will have this 32 shortly after their class and portrait, which represents their fatigue, and then they'll have this thing after it, which is represented by 01, 02, 03, or 04, which, you know, if I change this to 01, it'll change what deity he worships. So as you can see, that changed from water to wind. Right after that, we can start just typing in 63, which in hexadecimal represents 99. And if you don't know how to convert hex and decimal and vice versa, the calculator is good for that. So as you can see, I stopped at the last one because that's always going to be the start of our gear, and it'll change my weapon to something. I'm not sure if I have a regular old staff to show this trick off. We can find out. I'm going to save state it real quick. Looks like I do. Alright, so here's what I was getting at. The way I found the weapon or anything else in this was if you change it, like what he has equipped, you will notice if you look on the left hand side on the memory viewer and cheat engine, something in there will change. So as you can see, it was a 00, which is his default. Now it's a 75. Let's see what happens if we change that to 79. Alright, so we're getting to a better staff, it looks like. And I guess as the higher they go, the better the staff. Alright, so we got a scepter. I guess that's what one of the royals in this game uses, the king or whatever. So you could do that and change your equipment. Now as you can see, you know, we've got the stats, we've got a cool scepter. We can really clone them. There is one more other thing I wanted to change, which is that Book of Bane that he's using. I want to change that to one of those crazy spells like White Mute, Annihilation, or the Comet. And it looks like that is over here. Alright, so let's see what happens if I change this to F6. Alright, that's the Earth book. That's the Book of Bane. There's one. So now we've got a badass character. This guy's gonna kill an entire unit in one move. So what I want to do now is I want to clone this guy and make an army out of him. And the way I'll do that, same concept. Now we have two number 11s. Remember, it starts with the name and ends with the number. So that whole chunk, because we have two 11s, there's an 11 right there. But this whole chunk is him. So if we take that, we copy it, and we paste it a few times. I'm not going to do it too many times, because when you first start out in this game, you have a limitation of how many people you can have in your battalion. If you got too many, it'll make you discharge them. I could have done more than this, so I could have filled the whole thing up. But as you can see, they all got the same stats, same name, worship the same deity, and they have the same equipment. So you want to get creative or anything like that, you can go in here after you've made all these clones. You can change their classes, you can change it all just the way I just showed you. And there's a guide on the Game FAQS website that will show you the values for the items, the characters, like I said. But let's go ahead and form a unit. I've done a video on this before, and I guess the requester from that video wanted me to demonstrate it to see if it actually works, because he wasn't, for whatever reason, able to get his to work. He said it would glitch out and it just didn't work whenever he went into battle or whatever. But I assure you it does actually work. And we're not even past the first mission. We haven't even started that yet, and I've already got characters that can own the boss of the game. So what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to mix it up a bit, because the same attack, that's just going to get boring to watch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to locate my first clone, which is right here. there's his spell book. Looks like there's the second one's spell book. So let me change the second one's spell book to another one of those one-hit kill party spells. So now we got one with Annihilation. I think I missed it up there. Oh, well, I ain't gonna worry about it. And we'll do one more. So one of these guys should have another book. Okay, one guy's got an iron helmet. That's because I hit the D instead of the F key. Alright, so there we go. We got White Mute, Annihilation, and Tempest. Or Tempest. Let's go ahead and assign these guys as party members too. I might turn one of these other guys into a dragon. And do not make any of these characters party leaders if they don't have that original ability within the game. All you'll do is wind up crashing the game. And don't change Magnus's class or his portrait, because that'll count as act as like he's dead. That'll tell the game he's not present on the map and to end the mission, and you'll lose. All right, so I'm gonna swap some of these guys out for Magnus's party, and what I'll do is I'll turn them into dragons. I don't like that formation. I'll have my dragons up front. Back there. Alright, that works for me. Shitty thing is, if I don't get rid of those Tempest books, and that scepter, even though it's a dragon, it'll have those equipped, but I don't think it matters, so I don't think it'll crash the game or really do anything bad to it. Here's where it begins. This is our other character. Alright, this one's got it. So we want to change him to a dragon. I don't know exactly what the thing is for that, but here's all the dragons. And let's go with the Hydra, and we'll go with the red dragon. Alright, so one's 42 and then the other one's 40. So as I said earlier, we look for our class and our class portrait, which in this case, this guy's going to be a 26, which is right there. So we can just change that to 40. We got ourselves a dragon. Alright, and if we keep going up, we should be able to change that other one as well. Is it this one right here? I'm not sure. No, that was not it. And never make a dragon or something like I said earlier. That cannot be a party leader. Let's see. Let's try this one right here. 45, 45. That one's not it either. Is it this one? Or is there another one I didn't try? I think I already tried this one. It was another guy. Yeah. I'm tired, so I apologize about the crappy tutorial. Alright, so it's not the third guy. Let's try this guy. We got too many number 11s. Alright, so I found him. There we go. Now we got a... I don't want a worm. I want the Hydra. Oh, it's 42. So there you go. As you can see, we kept our items as well. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll demonstrate it. And you're not supposed to, if you have dragons that close, you're not supposed to be able to have them that close unless if you're cheating like I am. You can actually have up to 4 dragons, excluding your party leader, or 4 other big characters. So you can have as much fun as you want with this cloning thing I'm showing off here. And you can fill your army up rather fast. Let's send out a clone. Let's turn off the speed hack. I'll show you how slow this game is. If you don't already know, that's slow as shit. I'll send one of these guys out to kill the boss. Alright, a baby dragon. It's dead. We don't need wild creatures on our team, and we don't need to recruit people. As you can already tell, I'm going to annihilate anything I run into. And just because it looks like my character has 77 health points, doesn't mean he's gonna go down like in a hit whenever we get to a further state in the game. In fact, after we get so far, they're still not going to be able to damage him. Like, if they try a physical attack, he's just going to dodge it or block it real quick. And if they do a magic attack, it's only going to do 1 damage. And as you can see, all he needs to do is move once, and he kills the entire party. That's pretty much all I have for this tutorial. There's not really much else I can cover on it. You can hack the speed by, you know, just changing the in-game speed. When it's normal, the value is going to be a byte, and it's going to be equal to 1. When it's slow, it's going to be 0. When it's fast, it's going to be 3. And just keep doing byte scans on that and changing the speed. And eventually you'll be able to change it to something like 15 and have the character move like way faster. Which makes the game, in my opinion, much more enjoyable. But it has its glitches. Sometimes you can run into units and you'll actually go through the unit. So when engaging the unit, you'll wind up fighting them backwards, like your orientation, your formation orientation will be backwards from what it originally is. But like I've said, that's pretty much all I've got for this video. If you have questions, feel free to leave a comment.